The Korathi were apex predators. Every species in the Outer Rim knew this truth as intimately as they knew the taste of fear. With obsidian claws that could shred reinforced hull plating and sonic roars that paralyzed prey mid-flight, the Korathi had dominated their corner of the galaxy for millennia. They hunted in packs, raised their young in blood rite ceremonies, and respected only one law: strength. Joran Hale was not strong by Korathi standards. He was a human maintenance engineer, stationed on the neutral trade hub of Sanctum 9, a massive space station where 100 species conducted business under enforced peace protocols. His job was simple: keep the environmental systems running, fix what broke, and stay out of everyone's way. He had no claws, no natural armor, no bioluminescent threat displays. He was, by all galactic measures, prey. The incident began in Sector 7 Delta, one of the station's less-traveled cargo zones. Joran had been rerouting coolant lines when he heard a sound that made his blood freeze. It was a scream, high-pitched and desperate, cutting through the metallic hum of the station like a blade. Not the roar of an adult Korathi warrior, but the terrified wail of something small. He should have walked away. Protocol dictated non-interference in interspecies disputes, especially concerning the Korathi. But Joran's feet moved before his brain could override them. He sprinted toward the sound, his tool belt clanging against his hip. In a shadowed alcove between cargo containers, he found them. 5 adult Korathi warriors surrounded a small figure. Vrix, a cub no older than what humans would call 7 or 8 years. The young Korathi was backed against a wall. One foreleg bent at an unnatural angle. Blood matted the silver-blue fur along its shoulder. The adults circled like shadows given form, their eyes glowing amber in the dim light. Joran understood enough Korathi culture to know what he was witnessing. This was a culling. The cub had shown weakness during a pack hunt simulation, and now the pack was administering correction. Among the Korathi, a weak link endangered the entire pack. Better to remove it early. Vrix screamed again as one of the adults struck him across the muzzle, a blow meant to teach, not to kill, but devastating nonetheless. The cub crumpled, whimpering. Something ancient and furious ignited in Joran's chest. Stop! The word erupted from him like a thunderclap. It wasn't a request. It wasn't a plea. It was a command that carried the weight of every human who had ever stood between danger and those who couldn't defend themselves. Every parent who had shielded their child. Every soldier who had held the line. Every ancestor who had stared into the darkness and refused to blink. The Korathi froze. 5 sets of predatory eyes locked onto the human who had dared interrupt their sacred rite. The pack leader, a scarred warrior named Drath, took a step forward. His muscles rippled beneath midnight fur. Human. This is pack business. Leave. Or join the cub in learning respect. Joran didn't retreat. Instead, he stepped between the warriors and Vrix. His hands were shaking, but his feet were planted. You want him? You go through me first. Drath's lips peeled back, revealing rows of serrated teeth. You are soft. You are prey. You are nothing. Drath's lips. You are nothing. Maybe, Joran said, his voice dropping to something quiet and dangerous. But I'm the nothing standing between you and that kid. The other Korathi began to circle, their movements fluid and coordinated. They had hunted together for decades. This human would fall in seconds. Drath's muscles coiled, preparing to strike. Then Joran did something that changed everything. He roared. It wasn't sophisticated. It wasn't enhanced by alien biology or sonic resonance chambers. It was pure human fury, the sound of a species that had clawed its way from the caves to the stars, that had survived ice ages and plagues and wars that should have ended them. It was the bellow of a creature that refused to die quietly. The sound filled the cargo bay, reverberating off metal walls. It carried no paralytic frequencies, no bioengineered terror. But it carried something else: defiance, the absolute, unshakable refusal to surrender. The Korathi stopped. For the first time in Drath's 40-year existence, he felt something unfamiliar when facing prey. Hesitation. This human wasn't running. Wasn't cowering. Wasn't begging. He was choosing to fight, knowing he would lose, and doing it anyway. Madness, Drath whispered. Humanity, Joran corrected. Behind him, he could hear Vrix's ragged breathing. You want to talk about pack? About protecting your own? He spread his arms wide. Then understand this, every human is programmed at the DNA level to protect cubs. Any cubs. Even yours. Especially yours. Because we know what it means to be vulnerable. And we decided long ago that the strong don't prey on the weak. They protect them. Silence stretched like a blade. Then Vrix, gathering his courage, pulled himself upright on 3 legs. The cub limped forward until he stood beside Joran, trembling but present. The young Korathi raised his head and released a small, defiant growl. An echo of the human's roar. Drath's eyes widened. The cub was supposed to break. Instead, he was standing. Beside prey. Learning courage from something the Korathi had always dismissed as weak. The pack leader's claws retracted slowly. He studied Joran for a long moment, then looked at Vrix. When he spoke again, his voice carried a note of something that might have been respect. The human speaks truth we have forgotten. Strength is not only in fang and claw. Drath turned to his pack. We leave. The cub has found a different kind of strength today. As the Korathi warriors melted back into the shadows, Drath paused at the threshold. Human. You would have died for him. Without hesitation, Joran said simply. Then you are not prey. Drath said quietly. You are something we have no word for. After they left, Joran's legs finally gave out. He sat hard on the deck plating, adrenaline crash hitting him like a freight shuttle. Vrix limped over and pressed his small head against Joran's shoulder, a Korathi gesture of trust reserved for pack leaders. Why? Vrix's voice was barely a whisper. Why? Defend weak cub. Joran wrapped a careful arm around the small predator, mindful of the broken leg. Because that's what humans do, kid. We don't have claws or fangs or sonic roars, but we've got something better. What? We've got each other, and anyone who needs us. Word of the incident spread through Sanctum 9 like wildfire. The human who had roared down a Korathi pack. The prey who had refused to run. And slowly, quietly, a new understanding began to emerge among the station's predator species. Humanity wasn't strong despite being prey. They were strong because they chose to be. And perhaps, in all the galaxy's long history of fang and claw, that was the most terrifying kind of strength there was.